It's time now. The Chevrolet Cup at Seafair will be decided in the final heat. And here are your headlines. This is the last race in Seattle for the Bud. Dave Villwock would love nothing more than to win here in the hometown. Who's had the speed today? It's Terry Troxell in the Elam. He's had it all weekend long. But there is a rookie named J. Michael Kelly who may have a dream of breaking everybody else's hopes and winning here at Seafair. It's the finals of the Chevrolet Cup.
The Chevrolet Cup at Seafair Championship Heat is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airlines of Seafair, and is presented for Seafair by Chevrolet, an American Revolution.
Well, here they are, the best boats on the water today in 2004. Miss Budweiser, Miss Elam Plus, the Lumar window film, the Miss Beacon Plumbing, Seattle Boats, Graham Trucking, and the Oh Boy Oberto. They are your boats. They'll be racing today in the final for the Chevrolet Cup. We've got a little extra time now, so we can really talk about this final, talk about the boats, the drivers, the conditions on the water to get you set for the finale of what has been a terrific day of racing here on Lake Washington.
One of the major questions that we wanted to have answered was, will the rookies be allowed to fight for lanes? And the answer is yes. They can choose the lane they want to run in.
All right, well, they will all be scoring up, and they'll have to deal with this guy who likes to find the lane and has the speed to get just about any he wants. The U1 Miss Budweiser, Dave Villwock, in perhaps his last race under the Budweiser banner, Chip.
Don't be fooled by Dave shrugging his shoulders, saying, oh, gosh, I just don't know if we have enough power, and I just want to have fun. He wants to win this, and he's got a boat that he can win it with. He's got to be on the inside, though, or he's got to be in lane 1 or 2. He can't let any of the fast rookies get underneath of him.
Bill Rocky, I'm going to give a little secret here. You know Dave Villwock as well personally as anybody does. He really wants this race, doesn't he?
That's right, Steve. And when he walked out here, he had his game face on. He gave us all a thumbs up. There's no question how bad these guys want this. Crew Chief Mark Smith walks by us and goes, this is it, the last one. That kind of sums it up.
And so the Budweiser begins to pull away while the U16 Miss Elam Plus, Terry Troxell, has had a pretty darn good Seafair day, a 1, 2, and a 3, Mike.
He has a faster boat. There's no question about it, but he hasn't shown us all of the skill that he is capable of today. He's made some mistakes. He cannot make a mistake now.
It would be a great race for the Elstrom family to win. Let's see what they can do. The U8 Lumar window film, J.W. Myers. He has been a very good young driver for Bill Worcester.
And I don't think he's shown his potential yet. I'm still extremely high on J.W. Myers. I think he's a great driver. I don't think he's lived up to his potential yet. But if there would ever a good time to do that, it would be right now. The last time I believe Bill Worcester won here as an owner was with George Woods driving the Tide boat. So it's been a long time, and it would make me very happy to see J.W. win this race.
The U99 boat, stop freaking and call Beacon. I love it. It's the Beacon Plumbing boat, and Steve Hook, another one of those young drivers who's had a very fine day, Mike.
And let me tell you, if Fred Leland gives Steve Hook the green light to go to the inside lane, then the other guys can start freaking.
As we continue running down the rest of the drivers today, here's that other young buck, J. Michael Kelly. We talk about Enumclaw's Casey Kane. This is Unlimited Hydroplane's answer to him. The U2 Seattle boat, Graham Trucking. Chip?
You know, now we're going to see a little more what he's made of. It's one thing to, you know, be able to get good starts when you have to start on the outside. It's a little more difficult when you're fighting for a lane and trying to get a good start. So this will be more of an indication of what J. Michael is up to, and I think he's up to the job.
Greg England, you've been down in that pit. He's such a young driver. Is he really as cool and calm as he appears?
Works to his advantage. He's just positive about his experience. Finished 3rd in the Tri-Cities. Another top 3 finish here would say a lot about this rookie at Seafair.
We'll keep an eye on the Graham Trucking boat. And finally, Steve David got in through the provisional, but he is in, and they'll be racing 6 across.
Bottom line, he's got to have the start of his life because he doesn't have the boat speed to chase the Elam or the Bud.
You know, and it's all going to get down to that, isn't it, Mike? And we're going to watch this 5-minute period very closely for you people, because what's got to happen here is you know who you've got to have to your outside. You don't necessarily have to be on the very inside lane, but you know you have to have the guys that have boats as faster than you to the outside. So right now they're all watching each other. They're all watching the boat they know they have to be inside of.
And while we watch the boats circling, finding their position, let's check in with our Richard Thompson, who's out near the log boom now, and get an idea of the conditions back there. Richard?
Hey, this is Richard. I'm on IFB 32. Do you guys hear me?
Go ahead, Richard. We've got you. Go for it.
That's right. I want to go ahead and show you the water out here at the log boom. Take a look at this. We have been on the boat all day with former Unlimited driver Ken Dryden. He says the chop is just about right as far as he's concerned. The wind, however, he wished it was a little bit less windy out here. But he says for Seattle, it's just about perfect. Can't wait to see the last heat. Back to you.
All right. And Pat O'Day, for a quick 15 seconds, could be the last run-up for the Budweiser team.
The most successful marriage between a boat owner or any kind of a motor speed owner and a sponsor is about to come to an end. Bernie Little always called his boat the Miss Budweiser. Never the Bud, never my boat. He respectfully called it Miss Budweiser, and we're about to watch her final cruise here on the lake.
All right, Pat O'Day, and now for the call to the race, the championship, all the marbles for the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair. Here's Mike Fitzsimmons and Chip Hanau.
Dave Villwock and the Miss Budweiser has been just cagey for this last minute and a half. They were going slower than the Vashon Ferry up in that.
They are way early, Mike.
They are so early that they could arrive in time for Christmas last year. Here they come around the corner, and they're off plane, really. They are almost illegal.
I agree.
But they are establishing lane.
They wanted the inside lane so badly, they got up there almost a minute early. So somebody on the outside now can wind up and get a good start, maybe beat these guys.
And guess who's out there? That's the young rookie, Steve Hook, who's had great starts today. But everybody is so early that they're thinking they're going to get tomorrow morning's paper today. And it's just not going to work out for them. They're going to throttle up sloppily to the line. They're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know. I think Elam jumped the gun.
Boy, I tell you, that was a very, very bad start. I mean, there's just no excuse to be that slow and that spread out the line. But I don't know. Do you think he jumped the gun?
I think he might have been a tick over. We'll have to get that official. But meanwhile, Miss Budweiser on the inside giving chase. The Elam on the outside has the lead. We're waiting for the officials to tell us.
Well, the Elam has jumped the gun. The Budweiser really is out front right now. And I just can't say how disappointed I am in those starts. That was bad. But looks like the Bud's in the catbird seat now.
Very definitely. Elam, however, getting the word that they may have been over too soon. Miss Budweiser, of course, a little more comfortable, but I wouldn't be, because that J.W. Myers is hiding back there right now in the Lumar, and he isn't far off the pace here. You see the rooster tail of the Elam. You also see the Miss Budweiser in the background. They've come across the line. 1, 2, and now 3 is the Lumar, and also Steve Hook in the Beacon Plumbing has come across the line, and then the oh boy Alberto.
Now what can happen here, Mike, is the Budweiser's got to contend with the Elam's rooster tail, while J.W. Myers has got clean water. So Terry Troxel could make life very difficult for Dave by making him run in his wake and give J.W. Myers a chance to run in clean water. And I think J.W.'s made up some ground.
He has made up some ground. He's sensing that he has a possibility here, and he's starting to pull into the mist of the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser. Elam way out in front right at the moment, but there's some question as to whether or not that's the front leading boat right at the moment, because of that last tick of the clock that appeared to have the orange boat across too soon.
Hey, Budweiser did the smart thing and moved to the outside of the Elam so he can make sure he keeps J.W. Myers off of him. I don't think J.W. Myers has enough speed to go around the Budweiser on the outside.
Steve Hook's day has come to an end on the backstretch.
Yeah, it has, and that's a shame, too, because he has had such a good day going for him, but it's been a great memory for him on Lake Washington. All right, Elam is illegal. Budweiser is your leader. This is 5 times around. And since it's 5 times around, that could be a problem, because you got to run just a little bit harder and a little bit longer to stay out front. But the Budweiser is stretching out its lead now over the Lumar, and it appears that, as Chip suggested, the Lumar may not have the kind of power it's going to take to beat this Bud.
You know, it's really kind of disappointing because I think there was a number of boats here that could have won this race, and none of the drivers really. I don't think there was one driver out there that got a good start. They just all kind of stumbled across the line.
They really did. They kind of fell in like a drunken Irishman after a long night at the pub. That was really not a very good start at all. Probably one of the sloppiest, ugliest starts I've ever seen out here.
This may not be the way Dave Villwalk wanted to win it, but as you would always say, Chip, that's boat racing.
It is. I think he just really wants to be in the Budweiser cockpit the last time they went in Seattle. I know J.W. Myers is going to be kicking himself going, gosh, you know, if I would have driven my own race and made a great start on my own and ignored everybody else, I could have won this. I think Steve David could have won this. And look at Terry Troxel, how well he's running if he would have made a good start, a legal start.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of folks kicking themselves because they all kind of fell into the let's get there early and see if we can throttle up and get to the first turn. That's a lousy way to start. And I think that some of the rookies were the smarter starters here all the way around all day today.
And it's a bad game to play with the Budweiser because what the Budweiser does so well is accelerate. So if Dave can get everybody up there early with him, he knows that his great acceleration will see him through. You don't want to play that game with the Budweiser. If he's going to get up there slow and early, you got to wind up and have some speed at the line.
And I think in 3/4 of a lap, the Budweiser's career on Lake Washington will be over and end with a victory.
And oddly enough, the Elam did have the boat speed, and had he been a second or so slower to the line, so to speak, even though he was slow on the throttle-up process, he would have run away with this one.
And really what happened is that started so early. I believe they went into the first turn with over a minute to go. And they should have seen, you know, they were so focused on each other, they weren't thinking about what they need to do to make a good start.
All right, Elam's going to have to go one more, and the checkered flag will come out for the Miss Budweiser. There it is, the Budweiser, 41 years, a champion again on Lake Washington.
We just heard that we believe the Budweiser will make an extra lap just to ensure that they didn't jump the gun as well. So, you know, we're just kind of hearing a rumor, and maybe this is just insurance. Dave going, my last, you know, chance in Seattle with the Budweiser, I'm going to do an extra lap for insurance.
The chatter on the official radio is he was a legal starter, so he's just doing it for insurance, definitely. And that will, of course, not be necessary, but it'll make him a lot more comfortable.
You know, J.W. Myers has just not had the year he really hoped for. He really thought this was going to be a year that he was going to really get to show his stuff, and it just hasn't worked out that way.
All right, here's an interesting battle to start-finish line. This is the rookie and the Elam to see who gets scored first. Unfortunately for the Elam driver, Terry Troxel, he managed to go a little faster than J. Michael Kelly there and actually picked up a place. He won't finish dead last.
You know what might have happened for Dave is he didn't, I don't know, did you see a checkered flag there, Mike?
I did.
Okay, so.
He did.
Okay, so he's in good shape. Bernie's got to be happy. You know, I know that he probably would have wished that the Budweiser would have continued here forever, but you know that Bernie wants the Budweiser to win the last time they're going to be in Seattle.
The boat people along the shore have seen a great day of racing. There's the final, the 6 propellers turning at 12,000 RPM, throwing hundreds of gallons of water into the air as Seafair comes to another conclusion, and the Budweiser closes out its career winning another big one.
Yeah, maybe one of the biggest of their life, Pat, because this is the last one, and you can't ever downplay the last thing you do, you know.
Isn't that true?
And by my count, 6 of the last 7 Seafarers won by the beer wagon.
That's the story of this racing team. That's the story of its 41 years. Bernie lost 3 years in a row from 63 to 66. He said, I've had enough of that. It'll never happen to me again, and it never did.
And there's a name that I think needs to be mentioned here, and that's the name of Ron Brown, because I think there was 2 basic segments to the Budweiser career. There was the pre-Ron Brown, where they were a good team but not a dominant team. When they hired Ron Brown, he came in and built the team that you see here today. He built the shop, he built the dynamometer where they test the engines, he built the trucks, and I think Ron Brown deserves a great deal of credit for the success that the Budweisers had the last 12, 15 years.
Well,
Dave Villwalk coming down to the start-finish line here, slow off plane, getting one last look at that checkered flag hanging from the official tower.
And Mike, let's find out what the Budweiser team thinks. Joe Little is in the pits, and he's with our Bill Rocky.
Thanks, Steve. Joe, What a great way to finish your Seattle career here. You come out with a win.
I tell you what, it's a great day here in Seattle. The weather is perfect. Racing's good. Dave Villwalk did a great job. Unfortunately, Terry and the Elam jumped the gun. You know, and that's tough. It's fighting for lanes. That's what you got to do. Get out there and fight for it. Mistakes are made, but the big red boat comes in victorious again. I don't know how we keep doing it. The Bud Racing team, they're just great people.
You've come here so many times. What's this mean to win the last one?
It means a lot. All the other race sites are great, but, you know, you're in your hometown here in Seattle, and really wanted to win this one.
All right, thanks, Joe. Joe's going to go over and say hi to Dave here as Dave's just coming in.
Well, there's your last look at a Budweiser coming to a victorious dock in Seattle. And, you know, it's been a legacy much like the Yankees, much like any dominant sports team. And on the other hand, I believe there is a new day coming. Something is going to fill this void, and it's just time to say goodbye, I guess.
Well, Mike and Chip, take a look now. We've got the replay of the start, and it might take us a while to roll it because these guys were into it so early and they were going so slow.
Now, right now, if you look at these two boats, I'm sorry I didn't get both of them there, but they are off plane. Now, that is actually illegal. The race official could have said, now these guys at this point should have been way back here at this time, building boat speed, instead of just come up, and at least they should have all been together. I mean, you had guys off.
Nobody would dare, well, I don't want to say that, but I'll ask it as a question, Mike. Nobody would dare come back after the Budweiser wins this thing and then say, well, wait a minute, you were off plane, as happened to him in the Gold Cup race with a couple of infractions.
Yeah, not since Lee Shane has passed away. We won't have that kind of argument on Lake Washington. No, the fact is that they were 0.4 of a second. Elam was too soon to the line. 0.4 of a second, and there's no question that was a jump, and the Budweiser came across it legally.
And let's go down to the Budweiser pits now. And our Bill Rocky and the man of the hour, Dave Villwalk. Bill?
All right, Dave.
I knew it was going to be exciting. I just didn't know how exciting.
That was a wild start, a bizarre start.
Yeah, well, we had to make something happen in order to make that work. And, you know, I tried to get Terry, and, you know, Terry was trying to get me. Terry made a nice move. I was just ready for the counter move immediately, and turned into a 1-2 in the back straightaway, and we're both early, and I managed to get on the gas at the right time, and Terry got on the gas a little sooner than the right time. But it was a great race, and boy, you know, they had a lot of speed. They just flat ran around us, but today was our day.
You've grown up here, you live here. This is the last one for the Miss Budweiser on Lake Washington. Just your thoughts on looking back at that.
Oh, it's been an awesome journey for me. It's just, you know, I needed some rough water and to make it challenging, and for us to come with a win here this weekend is just unbelievable. This will be one of the most special. And the last, I'm sure Bernie was blowing down on this lake all day long, I swear to you.
Dave, congratulations. The Budweiser wins it, and there's going to be some celebrating tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Seattle, for all your support. Without you, we're nothing. Thank you.
Dave Villwalk, local guy made good, as a number of local guys have done in the Budweiser beer wagon over the years, with the Miss Budweiser, as Pat O'Day told us. Let's go check out Terry Troxel now, who was just ever so slightly ahead of the gun. He's with Guard.
Thanks, Steve. And Terry, if there's one guy that's so disappointed, not only for you, but for your crew and your family and your fans, you got to be hurting right now, especially if you didn't get the start you wanted.
Yeah, well, we knew we were going to start that way, and I thought for sure I had it. I mean, when I got to the pin, I was still looking at it forward, I thought, from the countdown I was getting. So, I don't know. It's kind of a racing game.
You had everything going your way. I talked to one of your crew members before you got on the water, and they said, hey, everything is great. We tweaked the engine. We're ready to go. But this game of racing, it comes down to inches, and you just jumped a little bit. Did you feel anxious, like you had to grab lane 1 or lane 2 to beat the Miss Bud and the rest of the boats?
We were kind of upset when we got lane 2, but, you know, what are you going to do? You're stuck where you're stuck. We were hoping we'd drive around him, and we did. You know, I guess we were just a little early.
Great day of racing anyway. You had a great weekend, and the best of luck for you.
Thanks.
Back upstairs.
Terry Troxel in the Miss Elam, the Budweiser being pulled out of the water for the last time here in Seattle. Let's take a look at the unofficial, and they are at this point unofficial results. The championship for the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair, the Miss Budweiser, the Lumar window film with J.W. Myers, the Miss Elam, the Seattle Boats, Graham Trucking, the Beacon Plumbing didn't finish, nor did the Oh Boy Oberto.
The Chevrolet Cup at Seafair Championship Heat has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airlines of Seafair.
And so the final for the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair, and all you have to do is say one very short three-letter word, Bud. Miss Budweiser, the 2004 winner of the Cup, getting just the start they had wanted, a leading wire-to-wire after Terry Troxell jumped in the Miss Elam, and the Budweiser wins here at Seafair yet again. A terrific day of racing on the water as the wind continues to blow and the sun continues to shine, and especially so on that red boat and its team, with Bernie Little looking down from, well, we believe high above, but some of us on this tower would know better than others. Let's take a moment here to kind of wrap things up a little bit on this day of racing and head back out to the start-finish line to our two good friends and our two legends in this sport, Mike Fitzsimmons and Pat O'Day, as you guys assess, sum up, look back. Tell me what you think about this day and how it ended.
Well, I got to tell you, we did see some very odd starts today. We saw a lot of drivers who have a lot more talent than they demonstrated today. And I think, unfortunately, the complexion of the race sort of fell that direction. But we also saw some fabulous new rookies who are going to be great champions in the future.
But I got to tell you what else we saw today. We saw a giant crowd. We saw blue skies. We saw Blue Angels. We saw ecstatic fans along the shore. We saw enthusiastic boat racers. There'll always be heartbreak. There will always be happiness when it comes to victory or defeat. But I got to tell you, this community had fun on this lake today, and I hope the people at home watching us on the tube, we were able to capture the excitement and the joy and the hilarity and the happiness of this day.
I think they had fun as well. And finally, Chip, did you see a future for this sport today?
Oh, I always see a future for this sport. We just got to get over some humps here. Like Mike, I'm disappointed. I didn't think we saw the talent of the drivers' potential that they have, but it was a great day, and don't worry, there's going to be great boat racing to come for a long, long time.
Well, on behalf of all of us with KIRO 7, the guys in the pits, the gals and guys on the log boom and along the shore did a terrific job bringing you this story. All of our technical support from high in the air to on the shore. We'll be back with more from the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair right after this.
The 2004 Chevrolet Cup at Seafair has been brought to you by your Northwest Chevy dealers. Visit us online or see your Northwest Chevy dealer today, and by Southwest Airlines, the official airlines of Seafair.
And so another Seafair is history, another terrific Key Bank Air Show, and a finale for that boat. Those crew members, all of whom are from around here in the Pacific Northwest. For the driver, Dave Villwock, raised here, loves this community. They love him. And he came back and won for his team and for his late owner, Bernie Little, and his son, Joe Little. The air show and all the rest has been just a terrific day for the fans along the shoreline, those partying in the homes up above and in the grandstands, and of course those out on the boats on the log boom. Now everyone can head home and talk about this 2004 Chevrolet Cup as being another one to put in the record books and say, wow, what a great day we had on a spectacular afternoon in August. Thank you to the Blue Angels, all of those who came to be a part of this Seafair festival that we have every summer. And most of all, thanks to you for joining us all afternoon long here on KIRO 7 for the great racing and all the rest. And now it's time to turn it over to our colleagues at KIRO 7. That brings to a conclusion the end of the 2004 Chevrolet Cup at Seafair. Thanks for joining us. Do stay tuned. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News with Essex Porter and Amy Clancy is next.